The Chief of Staff to the President of the United States joined us from the briefing room. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
So what's the President talking about when he says you're too busy putting out fake fires to work on the other stuff people want done?
Well, we're working on all of the above. Well, look, I mean, just look at a couple stories just over the last couple of days that dominated cable news, at least some news outlets. One, the Wall Street Journal article that said that the intel community is withholding information from the president. You know, okay, so what do? It's totally fake. It's totally false. You get a statement out of the DNI, and then we get a statement out of the CIA. Refuting a fake story. You have sources within that story that also go on the record on background that the story the day before in the New York Times that said that the Trump campaign had constant communication with Russian officials during the campaign was also fake. Devin Nunes today in the Wall Street Journal, who was briefed on the issue, went on the record saying that he hasn't seen a single bit of evidence that there had been constant contacts from the Trump campaign with Russian officials. These are the types of things that are totally phony.
Well, Reitz, where do these stories come from? Because the reporters aren't making them up. Somebody's giving them the stories.
Well, they might be making. Listen, there may be some bad actors within the intelligence community or some holdovers. Nobody knows. But I will tell you this, and I have talked to top levels of the intelligence community at every department, by the way, not just people that are only folks that we've put in place, and they have green-lighted me to say that I have talked to the highest levels of intelligence officials, and they have assured me that the New York Times story about constant contacts is grossly overstated and inaccurate. So I wouldn't come on your show and say something like that if I didn't have a green light and approval to say it.
Well, there's
it's
four
not
people.
True.
All right,
unless the highest levels of the intelligence community don't know what they're talking about, which I highly doubt.
I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Russia because the whole country keeps saying the same thing over and over again. It becomes an echo chamber. But
it's ridiculous.
Roger Stone was on my radio show yesterday. He said absolutely no contacts. He's one of the four. This other guy, Carter, forgot his last name. Whatever his name is.
Whatever. I mean,
I don't even know his name.
The point is, it doesn't even matter.
Well, I'm just saying, were there any contacts with the campaign with Russia? Or are they as gross? Is that also false?
Well, I don't represent the campaign, but what I just told you is what the highest levels of the intelligence community have told me, which is it is an inaccurate and grossly overstated story, and it's not true. But what really is true, and what I think the president's getting at, is if you look at his schedule, you look at just yesterday, we had a press conference, we had a meeting with congressional leaders, we had foreign leader calls, we had all kinds of events, and every day it's like that. You meet with retailers in the morning, you sign bills in the afternoon. Signed a bill that the coal industry desperately needed yesterday. The coal industry was decimated by losing 36,000 jobs over the last 6 years. President Trump saved the coal industry yesterday. These meetings, these days, these bill signings, these executive orders, they don't happen by accident. They happen because a lot of people are working very hard, but when you have to spend half your day putting out phony stories, obviously becomes a distraction.
Right. It's like, stop.